In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the solution to a bank reconciliation question. So the question is one that we saw previously in class, and here's the start of the question. So you're asked to work out the bank reconciliation statement for the month of February 2020, and you're given a number of items of information. So the first item is cash receipts daybook. So I'm just going to highlight that item there. That's the cash receipts book. So this is where we record all the cash received by us during the course of the month of February, and we lodge it to the bank, so we can see that the total that we recorded amounted to 5,190.14. Okay, so that was the cash receipts book. Next piece of information, just scrolling along, is the check payments book. So again, check payments book. So again, in a similar manner to the cash receipts, we record all the payments that we wrote out during the month. You can see that the first check we wrote was check number 5007, and all the way down to 5026, and the total that we wrote during the month was €4,268.34. Okay, and the final piece of information is the bank statement for the month of February. So just highlight that. So this would have been prepared by the bank and would have been posted out or emailed, and it shows all the transactions that went through the bank during the month of February. So there's a range of both payments, these are the payments in this column here, and receipts, so lodgements that the bank processed, and it shows the balance at each stage of the month, and the closing balance is 1857.88. So the statement says that we have €1,857.88. Now, the question provides us with the previous month bank reconciliation. This is kind of helpful because it gives us a template that we can use when preparing the bank reconciliation for the current month. So in a question where this is presented to you, you can use this same layout when preparing the bank reconciliation for the current month. So this was prepared at the end of January, and it showed the statement balance at the end of January adjusted for items, outstanding lodgements and outstanding checks which hadn't yet gone through the statement but which we had recorded ourselves. So remember, we adjust the statement for items missing from the statement. So these were things that we had recorded in our cash receipts book and our check payments book, but they hadn't appeared in the statement. So we adjust the statement balance at the end of January for them. And the balance as adjusted amounted to €170.10 at the end of January. So the requirement, prepare the nominal ledger bank account for February. And so on my solution, what I've done is I've just copied out the cash receipts day book. You can see there's my 5190.14. I've also got the bank statement here. There's my 1857.88. And I've separately got the check payments day book with my total payments. And what I'm going to do is the marking off process. So the process here is to look at the content of the cash receipts day book and compare it against the lodgements appearing on the statement. So I can see there's 1,065.86 here, and it's also here. So I would be marking it off or ticking it off if this were a paper-based solution. So I'm just highlighting it because it's a digital format. 556 and 556, 890 and 890, 481, 481. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. Just marking off all the common items. And 299.77. So there's a couple of items unmarked here, and indeed there are a couple of items unmarked here. We'll further process the day books. So now I do the same thing for my check payments. The first check there is 5,007, so 5,009 there. Okay, so this just takes a few moments to run through, and we'll eventually have all the items that are unmarked to identify. So €100 there, 625. Okay, so again, you've seen this done many times. Normally it's just a ticking exercise. So we're nearly there. And the amounts must match each time. If they don't match, you don't tick them. Okay, so we've marked off a number of items, and again you can see the last 6 items here haven't been marked off, and there's a number of items unmarked here. So the next part of the exercise is to check against the data that was in the previous month's bank reconciliation. Now I've actually copied the previous month's bank reconciliation here, so I'll just reveal that now. So this was last month's reconciliation. This is the last piece of the information given in the question. And what we want to check is these items, these outstanding lodgements and outstanding checks, do those items now appear on the statement? So if they do, we can kind of mark them off. So there's the 147.20 here, there it is there. Check number 5003, you can see 250 here, and 79.95 there. So we've marked all those off as well. So a few more items marked off here. Okay, so we're now ready to do the actual output. What process we've just gone through is essentially a kind of you could always call it a working, in that it isn't displayed on your answer sheet. It's just a series of ticks against various values. Now the actual solution, the thing that you would actually present as part of your question, is now presented. So I'm going to show that now. So we're asked to prepare the nominal ledger account and then do a reconciliation. So here's the nominal ledger account. Now the first thing we want to put into that is the balance at the start. And we get that from the previous month's reconciliation. So we had that up here. This value here, balance on the nominal ledger at the end of January, was €170.10. So that's a positive balance. So it's an asset, goes on the debit side. So slot that value in there. So that's the first step, opening balance. So I might just put in step 1. Opening balance, and you get that from last month's reconciliation. Step 2 is totals of cash receipts and check payments daybooks. Okay, so the totals of the cash receipts and the check payments daybooks, well, we have those up here. So the cash receipts, it's 5190.14. Check payments 4268.34. So total cash receipts increases the value of the bank asset, so that goes in here, debit side, and the total payments on the opposite side. Okay, so that's step 2. Now step 3, enter items unmarked on the bank statement into the ledger. Okay, so items unmarked on the bank statement have to be put into the ledger. So if there's something on the statement, a receipt, it'll be put on the debit side, and if there's a payment, it'll be put on the credit side. So let's have a look at that. So the bank statement, we had a direct debit, that's a payment for 40 on February 2nd. February 11th, we had a checkbook duty for 350. And February 24th, we had a loan repayment for 105. So those three payments are going to go into the ledger. These have gone through the statement, but they haven't been marked. That's because they're not appearing in the day books, so we need to put them in. So 40, 350 and 105. So I'll just put these in here. So 40, 350 and 105. Similarly, I need to confirm any unmarked lodgements. So there's a credit transfer for 181.50, a refund of charges for 23.47, and a transfer from a deposit account of 500. So again, unmarked on the statement goes into the ledger. So these items go in here. Now I have to balance the account. So step 4. Okay, so you can see that this side here is a much bigger value, 6,065, and this side here is much smaller, it's 4,416. So the total here is going to be used to calculate the balance. So my balance, which I'll highlight in red font, is €1,648.37. So 1,648.37. Now I want to compare this against the reconciled statement balance. So this is the second output. So now step 5. Okay, so compare the bank reconciliation statement. So with this, we use the statement balance at the end of the month. Now, just to show the bank statement, this was given in the question. So you can see that I've highlighted in red, the statement balance is 1857.88. Okay, so there's the 1857.88. And then we adjust that for any items unmarked on the cash receipts book or the check payments book. So unmarked on the cash receipts or check payments. So let's have a look at these. So first of all, I'll do the cash receipts. So these two items here are unmarked. Okay, so this is step 6. So step 6. Enter unmarked items on the cash receipts book into the reconciliation. And step 7, enter unmarked items on the check payments book into the reconciliation. Okay, so we had identified these two unmarked items in the cash receipts book, and we have got this number of unmarked items in the check payments book. So 432 and 590. Okay, so we'll just enter those. And that's a total there. That's extra money, so it's improving the bank statement. And then we've got to deduct checks that haven't yet gone through. So there are a number of these, 5021 through to 5026. Okay, so these ones here, these were the unmarked items on the check payments book, and the total of those is deducted, and we end up with the balance at the end matches the ledger balance, 1648 here and 1648 here. And that's how you do bank reconciliations.